now is Michigan Congressman, member of the House Foreign Affairs, Transportation and Infrastructure Committees, and Iraq War veteran John James is here. Congressman, it's great to see you this morning. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me back on, Maria.
So let's talk first about this Trump indictment. You've had so much reaction from Republicans. Your reaction to Trump headed to Miami to face off on these 37 counts?
Yeah, I want to go back to what you just said about Hillary Clinton, but her emails hat. She's trolling you, America. She's trolling you. She's already told you what she thinks about you when she called you deplorable. She thinks that there's a two-tier justice system, one for her and her powerful friends, and one for you and people who she disagrees with. We fundamentally disagree with that. We believe in the rule of law, and we need to make sure and it applies evenly. And the American people, when I talk across my district this weekend, they still have questions that need to be answered. They need to have questions about the big guy that need to be answered. They have questions about the Clintons that need to be answered.
Well, I mean, isn't there a two-tiered system of justice? You just laid it out. You said that there's all these questions about Hillary and Joe Biden, and yet it's Trump getting indicted.
Yeah, and that's not even the biggest thing folks in my district are concerned with. Folks in my district are concerned with this DOJ that says it's independent, yet it's spending more time on sleight of hand and misdirection, spending more time going after parents in school board meetings than going after, I don't know, spies from China within their own country. I think that's what the DOJ should be focused on. That's what we're focused on when we get back to work.
Well, let's talk about it because you're on the Foreign Affairs Committee, and I want to get your take on the Communist China threat. The White House is now admitting quietly over the weekend that, in fact, China has had a spy base in Cuba, and it is surveilling America, and since at least 2019. Last week, they claimed it wasn't true. They told a Fox reporter, no, I have no knowledge of that. And then over the weekend, they had to admit it. I spoke with former Director of National Intelligence, John Ratcliffe, about whether there was a Cuba spy station active during the Trump administration. Watch this. Were you aware of the Cuba Spy Center when you were the Director of National Intelligence for Donald Trump?
Well, there wasn't one, Maria. The idea that this kind of surveillance platform was present and being allowed is just absurd. But yet again, the strategy for the Biden administration is deny it until we can't deny it anymore, then find a way to blame the Trump administration for it.
So, Congressman, we're going back and forth when the spies center started, when it didn't. The bottom line is Communist China is spying on America in so many ways. A spy balloon traverses the country for a week, sends back military secrets in real time. Police stations in New York and other cities, Chinese communist police stations. And now this, the spy center in Cuba. What are we doing about it?
You know what? This Biden administration has been asleep at the wheel since the beginning. I mean, from the fall of Afghanistan to the rise in inflation, from spy balloons to spy outposts, both in Cuba and in cities around America. I see it each and every single day in House Foreign Affairs, and we need to make sure that in Congress we hold this administration accountable to put the American people first. This administration is putting China first, and that's part of the reason why economically I know that we need to reshore our critical mineral supply chain. We need to protect our manufacturing, which is why I put in H.R. 1, our energy bill, reshoring our critical supply chain, and also we need to make sure that we secure our borders so that folks don't get in here, and we also need to make sure that we support our No American Tax Dollars for the CCP Act, so that American businesses aren't forced to continue to partner with entities of concern to compete. This Biden administration is totally out of control, and they're totally out to lunch. It's weekend at Bernie's over there, and we need to make sure that we have a strong majority in the United States House of Representatives of Republicans to hold this administration accountable to the benefit of the American people, and then take the White House back in 2024.
Well, everything you're saying sounds great, Congressman, but at the same time, it's not being done. Okay, Communist China is winning. We see that. Now Anthony Blinken is going back, hat in hand, groveling to the communists next week. He's going to meet his counterpart in Beijing. They won't come here, but he's going there. And of course, we know that the surveillance is in full force.
Yeah, I think the DOJ should be investigating why things seem to be tilting in China's favor on the Biden administration's watch. Again, I go back to folks in my district, the #1 manufacturing district in America, the one that is going to be most negatively affected if we don't manage this transition to EVs appropriately. Like I said, the Biden administration is allowing the middle class in China to be built on the backs of ours, and that cannot happen. We need to make sure that we take that control back from this administration.
This is what you write in your Newsweek article, right? You write, unless President Biden stops them, China will control America's EV future. I mean, we know that the batteries and everything else are made in China. Why are we allowing this, and what can you do as an elected official to stop this?
Well, the first thing I did is make sure that I put a bill, I introduced a bill, no American tax dollars for the CCP. That means your tax dollars at this administration and friendly states around the country to this administration, continuing to send your tax dollars to China, continue to send your tax dollars to North Korea and Russia and Iran, these areas that would hurt us, that would continue to send outposts, that would continue to destabilize the world with their malign ambitions. No longer get your tax dollars. That's what the administration should support. So that's what I'm doing, on top of many other things, so we can take control back, reshoring our critical mineral supply chain, and making sure that we build America's strong manufacturing base here, not in China.
Yeah. All right, Congressman, we'll be watching. It's an important, a very important topic that you raised.